Assalamu alaikum and hello everyone. My name is Sasim Mzaini, Value Chain Optimization Analytics Department Manager at ADNOC. This interview is part of the virtual Majlis series brought to you by ADNOC Insights in support of volunteers.ae. How have technology companies traditionally responded to economic crisis in the past? And what is their market approach now during the COVID crisis? Is the pace of innovation being accelerated? To answer these questions, I have asked for insights from Mr. Jeremy White, Executive Editor of Wired Magazine. Hello, Jeremy, and thank you very much for joining me for this virtual conversation today.
Thanks very much for inviting me on.
As a result of the coronavirus pandemic, we are now entering a period of economic uncertainty. How have technology companies traditionally approached market conditions of this nature in the past?
Basically, technology companies have gone about approaching periods of economic uncertainty, downturns, recessions, whichever terminology you want to use, they always approach it in a slightly different way. They genuinely see these periods as being an opportunity, a period where actually, rather than hunkering down and reducing R&D spend and reducing resources being plowed into different projects or acquisitions for that matter, they actually go out there and really try and use this period to gear themselves up for when the recession or the downturn actually ends. Intel is a very good example for this. Paul Otellini, during the last session, the 2008 recession, brought the company together and said that actually during that period they were going to increase their R&D rather than decline it in order to prepare the company going forward. And what's really interesting is actually most companies and industries concentrate research and development and innovation and acquisition during periods when in normal operation or actually when things are going well. But actually this is when it's most disruptive to the day-to-day running of the business or the industry and your resources. Doing these sorts of things, increasing R&D and innovation during periods of downtime, during periods of economic uncertainty, where you can really change the company internally, that can be done at the time when it's least disruptive to the company's operations. And that is a tremendous advantage. You come out of these periods re-energized, reorganized, re-established, and also ready to go, hitting the ground running. And tech companies, not just Intel, Oracle, Microsoft, Google, they all operate in this manner. And it's a tremendous lesson.
AI and automation will be more important than ever going forward as the fourth industrial revolution changes the way we live and work and far beyond. How will our work, life, and jobs be fundamentally changed?
I don't think anybody realizes now or is able to tell right now to what extent, but we are fully aware that everything will change after this. That is without question. It has accelerated what was already happening before. So as you say, the fourth industrial revolution was already underway, but this will likely accelerate the take-up of that happening in different industries. The idea of automation, and the idea of new ways of working, augmented jobs, which are jobs where maybe artificial intelligence is not actually, will not replace your job, but it will make your job better. It will actually make you be able to be more efficient and more productive. There's a good example of that. Right now in the UK, there is a company that has an AI lawyer, as it were. And what it does, it doesn't replace your existing lawyer. What it does is it reads complex legal documents and makes a report for your lawyer for them to actually go through and check. So taking a 200-page legal document and reducing it down to maybe a 4-page summary. Now you still need your lawyer, but you pay your lawyer by the hour. And you want them to be working the most efficient way they possibly can. That creative thinking that only humans can do, not machinery. And that's what augmented jobs is all about. And that was already taking place before the pandemic hit. And this sort of scenario is only going to accelerate that sort of cultural change and industrial change. It's going to be quite transformative, but probably in quite a good way.
We're an industry that is technology dense. And if this current situation emphasizes anything, it rather emphasizes that we are on the right track. We have the urge to continue investing and applying top-tier innovation and technological solutions. And that ultimately is to get to the bottom line, cost effectiveness and production optimization schemes to ensure that we produce efficiently, effectively, and economically and profitably the best way. I guess it's the same throughout all the parallels.
It is. And the interesting thing about it is that the parlance will change as well. So we talk about artificial intelligence and what is your AI strategy. But in the same way that we don't normally much more talk about ask companies what their digital strategy is, we just ask what their business strategy is. If the companies that are open-minded and that are willing to accept these changes, we're already on this path anyway. As you say, lots of technology in your business, but so already on that way. And so with that in mind, it's the companies that refuse to accept that these changes will take place before all of this actually happened. But now even more so, this has become even more prevalent because the rate of change will only increase as a result of the pandemic. That it's the companies that don't want to adopt this or don't want to recognize this change is taking place that will be the hardest ones to endure. And the ones that do embrace it are the ones that have got quite a sort of bright future ahead of them.
Thank you very much, Jeremy, for the interesting conversation today.
Thank you very much indeed.
Stay tuned in our virtual Majlis for the second part of this interview.